In our final touch today, we take you to the shores of Italy to share some incredible works of art.
These right here are sand sculptures, all inspired by Leonardo da Vinci. They're on display in Giacello, which is northeast of Venice along the coast. This is the 500th anniversary of Da Vinci's death, and in honor of that, 5 different artists created 5 different sand pieces as expressions of his art studies and inventions.
Remarkable.
Yeah, really, really nice.
Thanks for watching, everybody. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, Madison police are continuing to investigate after receiving reports of officers using excessive force on a teen. How the chief is now responding.
The Sun Prairie School District is coming up with a plan to stop bullying. Why parents is necessary.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with News 3 Now. Madison Police Chief Mike Koval is speaking publicly after accusations of excessive use of force.
A leaked video shows officers punching a teenager multiple times during a mental health crisis. Our Keely Arthur is here now with the very latest. Keely.
That incident happened on Monday. Yesterday, we spoke to the woman who leaked the video. She's a spokesperson for the 17-year-old involved. She said that young man had a psychological breakdown, but officers took their efforts to restrain him too far. The officer at the center of this now on desk duty.
We have a young man who is experiencing a mental health, sort of an episodic break or crisis of sorts.
Madison Police Chief Mike Koval speaking today about an incident involving a 17-year-old Madison boy Monday. Officers called to his home to assist in transporting him to the hospital during a mental health emergency. Those moments caught on camera and partially released, showing officers punching the teen multiple times. The family now accusing those officers of excessive use of force.
Video narratives do not tell the entire tale of the tape. You don't have any audio. You don't have a seamless beginning, middle, and end.
A spokesperson for the teen involved describes the video as violence against a black child, and it's the focus of many social media comments. However, Koval says that's not the issue at hand.
The race issue is sort of subliminal in everyone's mind, but I hope that ultimately we're looking at this based on the objective reasonableness of the facts.
An internal investigation as well as an external investigation will now help determine that.
A 360-degree kind of assessment of what occurred. And so they'll review all the reports. They'll interview the officers. They may re-interview the officers, if they have follow-up questions. And they'll interview any other party that may have been present at the time.
It's unclear when the investigation will wrap up. Some have already begun to draw conclusions. Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway's office released a joint statement with Common Council leadership Wednesday, calling the video disturbing. The officer at the heart of it remains on restricted duty tonight.
He will not have face-to-face access, if you will, in servicing calls and out there in the community until such time as this incident has been fully investigated, vetted, and a determination is made.
Now, the young man involved is still being treated at a hospital. Koval says incidents of involving use of force are actually very rare, a fraction of the nearly 40,000 calls officers respond to each quarter.
All right, Keely Arthur reporting that. Keely, thank you. A 41-year-old man is accused of following a young girl from her home and making uncomfortable statements to her and other children on Madison's north side this week. Police say this happened around Northport Drive. Officers say Johnny Wafford Jr. is accused of following a 13-year-old girl, asking her name and commenting on her clothing. Many children said Wafford made similar uncomfortable statements to them. The officer located Wafford, who initially gave a fake name. He was then arrested on a number of warrants and on multiple charges, including tentative charges of disorderly conduct.
A Madison police officer was able to intervene during an attack in downtown Madison thanks to bystanders. It happened near the 600 block of State Street at 1:16 in the morning. Several bystanders rushed to the officer's squad car to let him know that a shirtless man had just punched a woman in the face. 22-year-old Damari Richardson of Sun Prairie ran but was taken into custody in a nearby parking ramp. The 18-year-old victim suffered a swollen lip. Richardson could face several charges.
The Sun Prairie Area School District is starting a task force on bullying after multiple incidents in that district.
The latest happening just yesterday. Amy Reed joins us now from Sun Prairie to show why parents say action is necessary. Amy?
Hi guys, yeah, you might have seen this video on social media. Two girls got into a fight here at Cardinal Heights Upper Middle School just yesterday. Well, the video appears to show one girl initiating the fight. To send a district-wide email announcement that they're starting a task force on bullying. The mother of one of the girls in the video told us yesterday she would like administrators to do something different than what they're doing now.
And it's unfortunate that it's happening even in the elementary schools. It's happening in the middle schools. Up here, people know that they don't want their children to come to Cardinal Heights because it's violent, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better.
This is part of a long discussion. Parents brought their concerns to a school board meeting last month, and earlier this year they encouraged the board to pass an anti-bullying ordinance that would ticket parents of bullies. The school district did not get back to us on this, but tonight at 6 we talk with a school board member that's also going to help lead this task force to talk about what they hope it will accomplish.
Amy Reed live in Sun Prairie. We'll see you at 6. Thanks, Amy.
Pretty nice day out there. Let's get a look at our first alert weather now. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joining us from the weather patio on a beautiful Thursday evening, Gary.
Certainly is. Humidity levels down a little bit, and temperatures are on the warm side. We did make it up into the lower 80s. There was one little shower or thunderstorm that popped up over southwestern Wisconsin. On visible cloud tracking, you see a few clouds down toward the Illinois state line, and there's that thunderstorm. It produced a little bit of lightning near the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. Now most of the shower activity is south, or the rain activity that's reaching the ground is south of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. But current temperatures are very warm. Here in Madison, we're at 83. Temperatures are in the upper 80s over parts of southwestern Wisconsin, while dew point temperatures are in the lower 60s to our south. They are dropping to the north, so the air is drying out. By tomorrow morning, we should be in the mid-50s with comfortable conditions overnight. We'll see a sunny and warm day tomorrow with a high of 81. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
All right, thank you, Gary. Veterans and world leaders are in Normandy, France to mark the 75th anniversary of D-Day, the battle that helped lead to victory in World War II. Thousands gathered at the American cemetery there to honor the sacrifices made on that fateful day. More than 150 D-Day veterans returned to the shores to be with their comrades, including 96-year-old veteran Jake Larson, who says Omaha Beach today looks dramatically different.
The sea here is clear. It was bloody, bodies. What can a person say now, except that war is hell?
Nous vous faisons chevalier.
French President Emmanuel Macron presented a number of U.S. veterans with the Legion of Honor, which is France's highest award. There is a way to commemorate this D-Day anniversary by seeing artifacts that were actually there. The Wisconsin Veterans Museum has a temporary exhibit featuring a jacket, boots, and helmet that were worn during the invasion of Normandy. They were worn by Milwaukee native Martin Gutekunst on June 6, 1944. The Navy radio man was 27 years old at the time. The display includes his account of what happened that day, as well as a video and oral history of the attack. It will be up in the lobby through the end of the month.
Well, the legislature's Finance Committee has yet to vote on the transportation portion of the governor's state budget. Republicans are still trying to reach agreement on the revisions that they are making. The governor has called for increasing transportation funding by more than $600 million over 2 years. His plan includes raising the gas tax by 8 cents a gallon and increasing registration fees for heavy vehicles by 27%. They plan to scrap the gas tax increase and are considering raising the $75 vehicle registration fee by $10, as well as an infusion of cash, additional borrowing, title fee increases, toll roads, and higher hybrid vehicle fees. Road funding has long divided Republicans. The issue delayed passage of the last budget back in 2017 until September.
As summer vacation gets closer for Wisconsin schools, one Rock County district is creating a plan to take care of students in poverty. More than half of students in the school district of Janesville are classified as being in poverty and get free lunch and breakfast during the year. But when school gets out for the summer, a lot of those kids can no longer get those meals. The school district of Janesville says they want to keep those students fed and are holding free lunches almost all summer long at several locations around town. Superintendent Steve Pofall says this is a priority for the district.
As a community, for those of us who look around and see people in need, are we doing everything we can to provide the support that we have to set everyone up to be successful, to make sure they're fed, to make sure their very basic needs are met?
The meals are available for free to anyone 18 or younger and starts on Monday, June 17th, right when school gets out. For a full list of meal locations, you can visit our website, channel3000.com. A new canine is joining the Madison Police Department. MPD introducing canine Archie today. He is a German Shepherd Belgian Malinois cross. Archie is trained in narcotics, searches, building searches, tracking, and apprehension. He will be partnered with Officer Emily House. Archie was purchased with the help of a nonprofit partner, Capital Canines.
It is about a $50,000 to $60,000 investment initially just to add a dog to the canine unit. And then throughout the dog's life, we try to find veterinarians as well as emergency care to donate that to the department, as well as food. Sometimes we get dog beds, sometimes we get toys, but it's quite a financial investment to add a team.
With the addition of Archie, the Madison Police Department now has 8 dogs in their unit.
Bike Week continues in Madison, and for the 13th year, bikers were gifted bacon on the bike path. This was at the Capital City Trail at Law Park. Right now, there is pizza on the path at the Garver Feed Mill, which will feature Ian's Pizza. Now, tomorrow is the Madison Bikes Party. That'll be at Brittingham Park starting at 5. It'll go till 8 p.m. And there you'll find food carts, beer, and other events going on. For a full list of Madison Bike Week events, you can head to madisonbikes.org.
Lance, Astor, and Goldie. They are the names of the MG&E's newest peregrine falcon chicks. Each of the chicks are named after wildflowers. Today they were branded, and this will help experts keep track of their location, their mating habits, and their survival after they leave their nest. Madison Gas and Electric installed a nesting box at the top of the Blount generating station in 1999. The falcons have been nesting at the location since 2009.
Yeah, Paul McCartney will be performing for the first time in Madison tonight. McCartney will be taking stage at the Kohl Center as part of his new Freshen Up Tour. The Freshen Up Tour will be McCartney's first outing after the release of his new studio album, Egypt Station.
There's more to come tonight on News 3 Now at 5. When we come back, a group of young men and women in Madison are helping those less fortunate. How one man inspired their efforts.
And on Wall Street, the Dow up 181 points. The NASDAQ adds 40, while the S&P 500 jumps 17. We'll be right back. There is a group of young men and women in Madison spending their afternoons helping those less fortunate.
But it's not what they do, but who they do it for that makes the work so special. Here's Danica Lewis.
For teenagers,
anyone.
there are few things more valuable than spare time after school.
You want some sour cream, some salsa?
While Alexis Liggins could be self-serving,
At first, probably not.
she chooses
But now I like it.
to serve others.
Yeah, to see their faces when they get food. Would you like some salsa, sir?
Subpar skies
You're welcome.
or sunshine.
Could you open another bag?
Kids like Alexis and Aiden Nunez-Clark are helping people they don't know.
Would you like some cheese?
Folks who didn't know
Okay. You gotta unpeel it yourself.
where their next meal would come from.
Would you like to?
The more often the Boys and Girls Club shows up, the more lineup.
And we have a lot more people than we normally have.
And the more who line up, the more you see Jackie Wells perk up.
They can get one of each for now. Unless we start having too many people, we start running out of food, okay? All we did was take what he does and just enhance it.
He is Ulysses Williams, better known as Yuli. He worked as a janitor at the Boys and Girls Club for years, but before that, he was one of the people looking for a place to eat and
I was homeless.
to live.
Oh, it makes a big difference.
Yuli would come downtown 3 times a week after his custodial shift with bottles of water and sandwiches that would have otherwise been thrown out.
Sometimes it's 8, 9 o'clock before I even get home. It's what I do. Let's just put it that way.
When he retired last fall, Jackie saw an opportunity.
Yeah, get another one. I just want them to learn to give back. Anything could happen in life that could wind you up in this situation. So I just want them to realize, that there are a lot of people out here less fortunate than them.
So the Yuli Project carries on his kindness. Kids he once cleaned for.
You want cheese on your burger, sir?
Feeding the community he cares so much about.
Well, caring.
That's what Yuli hopes Aiden, Alexis, and the rest of the group get out of this. It's not missing out on an afternoon. It's building
This is good.
on something good.
They make me proud every week.
The Yuli Project will start up again on Thursdays later on this month right here at the top of State Street. And if you want to help these kids keep up the good work, you can donate food, water, or toiletries to the Boys and Girls Club. Danica Lewis, News 3 Now.
Let's get a look at your first alert weather now. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with our forecast. Gary?
You know, Eric,
What
this
is
morning,
that, Gary?
Hey, so yes, this morning, some of us had to deal with fog, and I saw firsthand how quickly it developed because of Lake Michigan. We had the same weather in Chicago. Went to the Cubs game last night as we had here in Madison. There was a little bit humid, but once the wind shifted off of Lake Michigan, right as the game started, it started to develop fog, and you can see how thick the fog was just kind of blowing in from center field during the latter part of the game. At times, I mean, it was tough to see some of the players in the scoreboard, but fortunately they were able to get the game in. But that just shows you how quickly the weather can change just because of something like cool air coming in off of Lake Michigan. It was actually much warmer inland when I got home last night. Temperatures were about 15 degrees warmer than they were here in Madison. So that was a big change for me. Now in visible cloud track, you can see how the early morning fog developed mainly over the areas of southwestern Wisconsin, especially in the river valleys. And then you can see how it just kind of eroded away. And that gave way to just some cumulus clouds that popped up. A couple of them became strong enough to produce a shower or thunderstorm, and it was mainly over southwestern Wisconsin, developed just south of Dodgeville and dropped almost straight south. Otherwise, the rest of us enjoyed a very sunny and warm afternoon. Live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville shows skies partly sunny right now. The live view from the WISC Skycam shows a little more cloud cover, but you can certainly see some sunshine in the distance. And as we check out our almanac for today, our high temperature topped out at 83 after starting out at 57. Right now, our temperature is still at 83 degrees with partly sunny skies. Winds are out of the north-northeast at 3 miles per hour. The dew point temperature, which was in the 60s yesterday, has dropped back into the upper 50s. The air is starting to dry out, so it makes fog a little less likely for tonight. Temperatures are in the 80s to around 90 over much of Minnesota and Iowa. Lower 80s here, a little cooler to the north and near Lake Michigan. Look at the lake breeze, keeping temperatures only in the low 60s in Milwaukee. Dew point temperatures right now are in the mid-60s near the Illinois state line, but to the north, notice they're dropping into the 50s and 40s. As the air dries out, it gets a little cooler at night, but again, that lessens the chances that we're going to see fog. And also having lighter winds, too, for the most part, keeps the fog from forming. But notice the winds coming in off of Lake Michigan and lakeshore areas. That may lead to some fog development later on tonight. But on weather track, the main storm track is starting to shift a little bit farther to the south. Most of the showers and thunderstorms today are farther south away from us. And there's an area of high pressure that's just kind of starting to develop in southern Canada, and eventually will work its way in behind this front. But there's a warm front out to the west of us. You can see on the other side, that's where the air is a little bit more humid and temperatures are a little bit warmer, mainly in the mid to upper 80s compared to the low 80s here. But again, the closer you get to the Great Lakes, temperatures are much cooler because the lake waters are much cooler at this time of year. And the more significant moisture or dew point temperatures are in the 70s, confined to areas of southern Missouri. On future track, you can see quiet conditions for tonight and tomorrow. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures should be back in the low 80s for tomorrow, and will probably be in the low 80s for Saturday as well. The next weather system starts to arrive from the northwest Saturday night, but more likely on Sunday, with a chance for a shower or thunderstorm by Sunday afternoon. Much of the day, it'll be partly sunny and dry. So our forecast calls for a low temperature of 54 tonight. Skies will be mostly clear, so a pleasant night expected. And then tomorrow, we're back to mostly sunny skies and our high temperature right around 81 degrees. As we take a look at future track, notice those skies staying clear overnight, low temperatures dropping into the mid-50s. Again, you can see the fog near the shoreline areas of Lake Michigan. Then for tomorrow, high temperatures back in the low 80s, mostly sunny skies. Clear skies tomorrow night, low temperatures in the mid-50s, and look for high temperatures back into the upper 70s and low 80s on Saturday, again, sunny skies. 7 to 10 day forecast, you can see those temperatures a little cooler as we head into next week, but still generally in the 70s. One exception, Thursday might not get out of the 60s, but a shower or thunderstorm chance midweek, and then maybe another one toward the end of next weekend. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, the eastbound Beltline not looking too good. There have been delays all day in the eastbound direction, and we're still seeing those basically from around West Broadway all the way back to west of Verona Road. Eastbound, just a few minor pockets of delays around Park Street and also back toward John Nolan Drive. Right now, travel times a half hour on the Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate, 26 minutes going back in the westbound direction. If you're heading out of Madison, it's 28 minutes to Janesville on I-3990, 18 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, and 17 minutes to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Alert Traffic.
All right, thanks, Gary.
Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, tragedy unfolds at West Point after an early morning accident left one cadet dead, more than a dozen injured. We'll have the latest. As the country paused to mark the anniversary of D-Day, a tragedy unfolded at the West Point Military Academy.
West Point superintendent called it a tragic day after a military tactical vehicle packed with cadets overturned in the thick woods around the military academy. One cadet was killed, 19 others were hurt, along with 2 soldiers with injuries ranging from scrapes to a broken arm. They were on their way to training exercises in a canvas-topped transport vehicle about 50 miles north of New York City. There were 2 people in the front cab and the rest of the passengers were in the back.
You can see the hills we have here. We want to make sure that our soldiers and our cadets train in realistic training environment. So this is a part of our realistic training.
A military spokesperson confirms soldiers from Georgia's Fort Benning were driving the vehicle when it crashed. The cause of the accident is under investigation. President Trump tweeted from Europe, "We mourn the loss of life and pray for the injured."
Mexico's foreign minister says they are making advances in talks with the Trump administration over what to do about the flow of migrants coming to the U.S. border. Mexico has offered to move 6,000 troops to the southern border to stop immigrants from entering the country. It's also offering a change for the system for immigrants hoping to apply for asylum in America, but the president wants a major crackdown. The U.S. border agents say they apprehended more than 132,000 people last month alone, the highest level since 2006.
Our goal is to see an outcome, which is that of the reduction of numbers of illegals crossing. We need more cooperation coming from Mexico. Clearly what we've seen is that Mexico has not done enough.
We have some advances, and we are going to return later to continue discussing the several points that we proposed.
Now, the president says if no agreement is reached, he will put tariffs on all goods coming in from Mexico. The tariffs would begin on Monday at 5% and then increase each month until it reaches 25%. Stay with us. We'll have one final check of your forecast in just a moment.
Tonight on the CBS Evening News, we are in Normandy on the 75th anniversary of one of the most pivotal battles of World War II. A look back at the commemoration, the harrowing stories, and one widow's fight for the recognition of one of the last unsung heroes of D-Day. All ahead on the CBS Evening News.
And a nice evening outside.
Yeah, for the most part, temperatures right now are on the warm side. There's one little shower over far southwestern Wisconsin that's dropping into northern Illinois, and then that's pretty much it. Look at the temperatures, though. 83 right now in Madison, 88 in Mineral Point, but those temperatures will be in the low 80s for the next couple of days, near 80 on Sunday with a chance of a shower or thunderstorm. Another chance of rain midweek and then toward the end of next weekend, but very pleasant temperatures after that.
All right, Gary, thank you. And we're back in 30 minutes for News True Now at 6. Stay tuned for the CBS Evening News.